All right, guys. Happy Sunday or Monday if you're watching this early. I'm posting this on Sunday, so I'm saying happy Sunday or happy Monday in case you're watching this on the national championship game day. We have Indiana versus Miami. We're gonna do a game breakdown, and I have four player props that I like in this game. We're gonna give them to you for free in this video. So let's go through it. But first, real quick, if you want a free month or 2 free months or 3 free months of VIP, you can sign up on either Sleeper, Betr Picks, or Chalkboard using code Morrisbros for all 3. If you sign up on all 3, you get 3 months free. If you sign up on 2, 2 months free. Sign up on 1, get 1 month free. You can use code Morrisbros on either of on any of those and get a deposit match on all 3. Sleeper's going to give you a free square, Betr's going to give you a free square, and Chalkboard will give you a free square. So you're getting a deposit match and free squares on all the apps. So it's $400 total of value because Betr gives you up to $200. Sleeper and Chalkboard is $100 deposit match. So do whichever you want. If you want to do all 3, be my guest. Get 3 free months of VIP. All you have to do is shoot proof that you signed up with code Morrisbros on Sleeper, Chalkboard, or Betr and made a deposit of $10 or more. And then text it to this number right here on your screen, 843-670-9543. If you blow me up, I will block you, so don't do that. But text that number, proof of your screenshot of deposit and use of my code, and we will get you hooked up with the free months of VIP. So anyways, now that that's out of the way, those will be linked down below, by the way, so you can just click those links, and you'll be sent to the app to sign up, and then they'll get you taken care of. Shoot me a text, and then we'll get you taken care of. In this game, let's do a little game breakdown. I think we're going to see passing scripts from Indiana, and I think we're going to see Miami try and run the football against this Indiana defense. Will they be successful? That's the $1 million question here, because their offensive line outweighs Indiana's defensive line heavily, but Indiana's defensive line is very, very talented, very, very good. So we shall see if Miami can run the ball effectively against them. If they can't, Carson Beck's going to have to prove that he can throw the ball once again like he did against Ole Miss, which I feel fairly confident in the fact that he can, based off of what he did to Ole Miss. He's also been very good in all the top 10 matchups that they've had this year. They've had, I believe, 5 top 10 matchups, and they've won in every one of them. So Miami this isn't like new to Miami. They've been in big games. Obviously, they beat probably some of the best teams throughout the entire college football in the playoffs. They beat Ohio State, who was probably the favorite. They beat Ole Miss, who was a very, very good offense and a pretty damn good defense too. And then A&M. A&M was number 2 in the country for forever, or number 3 in the country for forever. So 3 very good teams that they beat, and now they get to play probably the best team in football. But I think Miami does have a shot in this game. I like them plus 8.5. I think Indiana will be able to throw the ball against Miami, as we've seen Ohio State be successful. Ole Miss was successful, and even A&M was successful throwing the ball against Miami. What you can't do against Miami is run. So we know Indiana loves to run the football, controls the clock by running the football, and then Mendoza, has play action, and is just very, very good with his attempts. He completes nearly probably 75% of them in the playoffs, so I think it's more than that actually. So he's been very good, but I think they're gonna have to rely on Mendoza a little bit more in this game to throw the football, and if they can throw the football successfully against Miami, Indiana will probably be the national champions tomorrow. But we shall see. I have a futures bet on Miami, so I hope they win, but if they don't, that's no big deal. I do like Miami plus 8.5. With that being said, let's get into these player props. Like I said, I think Indiana's going to throw the ball, so I like Indiana's number 1 wide receiver, Elijah Surratt, over 59.5 receiving yards. He's been phenomenal in the playoffs. I think he's caught almost all of his targets, and he's 6'3", 6'4". He's a big wide receiver, and Miami's secondary is also injury-prone and depleted right now, so I think he's set up for a big game, and 59.5 yards is way too low in my opinion. That is probably one of my favorite plays in this game, if not my favorite. As far as Mendoza's rushing yards under, that pass rush for Miami has been lethal. I don't even think Trinidad Chambliss had 17 yards. I doubt Mendoza will get 17 rushing yards because sacks count against your rushing yards in college, if you didn't know. So I like him under 16.5. I expect him to get sacked a couple of times, and also the contain from Miami should be pretty effective, so he can't be able to run the ball that much. CJ Daniels, 2.5 receptions over. I think he's hit this, it's like 8 out of the 9 games he's played this year. He's been targeted a good bit in the playoffs, and I expect him to be targeted 4 or 5 times in this game. So as long as he catches 60% of those, he cashes. Malachi Toney's going to get a lot of attention from Indiana, obviously. That is Miami's number 1. And he had a really, really big game against Ole Miss. So I expect Indiana to be on Malachi Toney heavily. So CJ Daniels should get some looks. I love him as a wide receiver. He's very talented, but I think he's slept on because of how good Malachi Toney's been. So I like him here for 2.5 receptions. This slip is on Chalkboard, so if you want to get your deposit match on Chalkboard, tail this one right here. You can just use code Morrisbros and they'll hook you up and then tail me, and then you can get a free square as well. Make it a little 10x slip. But that's the reasoning behind this slip right here. Is I think Miami's defense will be fairly good against the run, including keeping Mendoza contained and get a couple sacks. CJ Daniels has been very, very good and very reliant for Miami, so I think he's going to get 4 to 5 targets. As long as he catches 60% of those, he should be set to cash this line at 2.5. And then Surratt. Also, this was another point of why I like Surratt. If you look at Miami's defense, the last 3 games, the number 1 wide receiver for the past 3 teams, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and Ohio State, have all went over this line by a lot. I think Ole Miss is number 1. Stribling had 74. Jeremiah Smith obviously had that big game, 140 yards or something. And then, what else am I missing here? What's his name from A&M? It's not Conception. It's the other one. Mario Craver had like 100 yards or something. So the number 1 wide receiver is cashed this line against Miami's defense the last 3 games of the playoffs, and I don't see anything changing in this one, especially with how good Surratt is. He's probably the best wide receiver in this game. So I like him here, 59.5. That's probably my favorite play in this game, so pair it with whatever you want. This is probably my best play. Moving forward, one more play. This one's on Sleeper. Code Morrisbros. Get your deposit match, get your free square. Same thing with Mendoza and Surratt. Surratt's actually 3 yards lower, so if you're not on Sleeper, get him on Sleeper because he's 3 yards lower, and that's value. And then I took, instead of CJ Daniels' receptions, I just added Carson Beck's touchdowns, 1.5. It's 2.35x, so very nice payout. This slip is like 6x, I think. And then if you get a free square, add it to it, you're going to get like 11x payout for a 4-man. Why do I like Carson Beck's touchdowns? Well, personally, I think Miami's offense looked really good against Ole Miss, and I know Indiana's defense has been sensational, but they have shown signs of allowing passing yards. We saw Penn State throw it pretty effectively. We saw Oregon throw it pretty effectively. Granted, they were down like 40, so I don't know how much Indiana was really playing in that game, but I do think there's space. Space in the Indiana's defense to throw the football, I guess, but also how talented Miami's wide receivers are. I think Carson Beck should be able to throw 2 touchdowns if it gets into a shootout, which a shootout in this game would be like 28-24, something like that, 27-24. That means Miami would have to score at least 3 touchdowns, and I think 2 of those would be passing because of how good Indiana is against the run. I don't see them allowing many rushing touchdowns tomorrow. So if they're going to want to score, I think Carson Beck's going to have to throw the football and hopefully get some touchdowns. But he's also looked really good in the playoffs, so I like to back him here at 1.5 passing touchdowns, especially at that payout of 2.35x, which I think is a little bit insane for 1.5 touchdowns. So we're going to take it. But yeah, those are the two free slips I have for y'all, the 4 player props that I have for y'all. Mendoza rushing yards under, Surratt over his receiving yards, Carson Beck 2 touchdowns, and I liked CJ Daniels 2.5 receptions. Both of these apps are going to give you a free square as well as better picks. Sign up on any of these apps. Text me proof that you signed up with my code and made a deposit of $10 or more, and we're going to get you some free months of VIP. Here's that number one more time, and the links are down below for all 3 apps. So make sure you check those out. We will see you tomorrow for the rest of the slate of NHL, NBA breakdowns, and my favorite plays in those games. So make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.